Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to decode the story of a company you've definitely interacted with, probably thousands of times, without ever even knowing it. Yeah, we're talking about that silent ink, the little codes that give almost every single product a voice. Seriously, just think about it for a second. That little string of numbers on your milk carton, that batch code on your medicine, it seems so simple, right? But that is the absolute final, crucial step for almost everything we buy. And the technology that makes it happen? Well, that's a massive and kinda hidden industry. So this whole world has a name. It's the coding and marking industry. And you can think of it as the hidden engine of pretty much all manufacturing and logistics. In India alone, we're talking about a market that's worth over 2,000 crore rupees. This is the tech that makes sure our food is safe, our medicine is real, and our supply chains, actually work. And right at the heart of this industry in India, there's one company that has, pretty quietly, become an absolute giant. So let's meet ControlPrint. They hold a solid 18 to 20% of the entire Indian market. Now, just think about that. In a crowded industry with a ton of players, controlling nearly a fifth of the whole business is a huge deal. It's a real sign of dominance. And how'd they get there? Well, check this out. They've done it by installing over 21,500 of their printers in factories all across the country. I mean, just imagine that. Every single one of those printers is like a tiny workhorse, just tirelessly coding millions and millions of products every single week. And listen, this isn't some hot new startup that just popped up. Nope. They've been doing this for 34 years. They've built this incredible foundation of experience and reliability in an industry where, let's be honest, precision is absolutely everything. And this is probably the most important point. The market is basically run by four giants who control about 80% of the pie. And ControlPrint, they are the only homegrown Indian company in that top group, standing toe-to-toe with massive global competitors. This gives them this incredible edge. They just get the local market, the ins and outs of Indian manufacturing, and they've built the service network that international companies really struggle to copy. So success like this doesn't just happen by accident, right? It's all driven by a really clear, really ambitious three-pronged strategy for growth. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, they're doubling down on what got them here, their core business of printers and inks. That's the bedrock. Second, they're scaling up this game-changing part of their business called track and trace. And third, they're jumping into a whole new area of innovative packaging. Now, all three are super important, but let's zoom in on that track and trace piece, because the company itself thinks this is the future. And there you have it, straight from them. They believe this is the future. It's about moving way beyond just printing a static date on a box. It's about giving that box a unique digital life of its own. And they call it QRiousCodes. The idea is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. By using a unique QR code, every single item gets its own digital passport. And this passport can be scanned and tracked at every single step of its journey, right from the moment it's made to the second you're holding it in your hands. Now, what's really cool about this slide is the transformation it shows. I mean, before, supply chains were just a black box, right? You had a huge risk of fakes getting into the system, and as a customer, you just had to trust what was on the label. But now, with a system like QRiousCodes, you get total visibility. You can guarantee a product is real, and brands can even talk to you directly through that simple little code. It's a total game changer. Okay, so that all sounds amazing in theory, but is this strategy actually paying off? Let's follow the money, let's look at the numbers. And the answer is a big, loud yes. The company just posted its best second quarter revenue in its entire history. So this growth, it isn't just a plan on a PowerPoint slide, it's actually happening right now. And this chart just shows it perfectly. You can see their revenue is consistently hitting new highs, and they recently crossed that really big 100 crore rupee mark in a single quarter. That's some serious momentum. But here's the really crucial point. It's not just about selling more. Take a look at the year-over-year growth. Revenue grew a really healthy 9.5%, but their profit, the actual money they take home, that jumped by an incredible 18.5%. This is the strategy at work. They aren't just selling more stuff, they're getting way, way more profitable while they do it. And this isn't just some lucky quarter, a one-off thing. No way. Over the last 5 years, their revenue and core earnings have been growing at a steady 15% clip every year. But just look at the profit and the earnings per share.
They've been growing at over 30 and even 40%. That is the sign of a seriously powerful and efficient growth engine firing on all cylinders.
So they're on a roll, the numbers are fantastic. Where do they go from here? With all this momentum, what does the road ahead even look like for Control Print? Well, their plan is super clear, and it builds on those 3 pillars we talked about. First, the core business. As those 21,000 plus printers keep running, they'll sell more and more high-margin stuff like inks and supplies. Second, that big push on track and trace, especially as government rules are making it mandatory for certain industries. And third, they're aiming for exponential growth from their new packaging ideas, while also starting to look at expanding around the world. So, when you zoom out and look at the big picture, you realize this company's story, it isn't just about ink and machines anymore. It's about building a totally new standard for how we buy and sell things. A future where every single product has a story that can be verified, tracked, and trusted by anyone, anywhere.
And that just leaves you with this fascinating question to think about. We started this whole journey by just printing expiry dates. Now we're literally creating digital passports for everything we make. So as every product becomes intelligent and connected, what new stories will they be able to tell us next?